Welcome to Herf Zone Live, the show where we have the most eclectic lineup of guests, of which some smoke cigars and some who don't. Either way, we bring you the best content weekly. Herf Zone Live is sponsored by StogieLives.com, a social media site just for cigar smokers. Sign up for free and connect with cigar lovers from all over the world. Set up with similar features to Facebook and other social media sites. You can grow your network, start groups, post events, and see what everyone is talking about. StogieLives.com. Team Shirtless Mike and Herf Zone Live are also getting behind a special project of Ace Prime Cigars and Stogie Press. They are working to raise money for a daycare center in Jalapa, Nicaragua, to help out workers in the cigar industry, among helping in other ways. You can check out the news article and learn more about the project down in the live stream description. All right, we have an awesome show lined up for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. What's going on, Tyler? How you doing, brother? Yeah, we got an awesome show. But before we get this show started, I told my sister that I will be wishing her a happy birthday live on my show today. Today is her birthday. I believe she's, 24, 25? I can't remember. I was 7 when she was born. So let's see. I don't know, about 24, 25. She'll probably kill me. But anyway, we have a special guest today. We're going to be doing a TPE recap show. So in the Cigar Hustlers podcast green room, I got Boston Jimmie down there. Make sure you click on the link in the description and go to subscribe to my sponsor, a Cigar Hustlers podcast. They have an awesome podcast that comes out every Tuesday around 10 a.m. Got awesome content and everything. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our special guest of the night and get started, Mr. Boston Jimmie. What's going on, brother? Hey, Boston Jimmie, I think you're frozen. You're frozen, Boston Jimmie. Let's see here. Boston Jimmie's frozen. Let me try to take him out and put him back in. All right, so looks like Boston Jimmie's frozen. He's got to come back in. So anyway, while we're waiting on Boston Jimmie to come back, I'm going to go ahead and light up this Undercrown Maduro tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and light that bad boy up while we're waiting for Boston Jimmie to come back in. Sometimes the live shows, things don't go as planned, but it's all good. So we're waiting for him. Gonna light up this awesome cigar. What's everyone out there smoking? Leave some comments so I can see them, and we'll interact a little bit real quick. While we're waiting for Boston Jimmie here, so leave some comments down below. Well, we're waiting for Mr. Boston Jimmie to come back. Doo-doo. He'll be back in just a second. All right, we see him down there in the green room. So with waiting in the Cigar Hustlers podcast green room, I'm going to bring on Boston Jimmie. Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey. Sorry about that. For some reason, my laptop's been having problems where the browser freezes on me. I forgot you're on a browser when I log into this, so I had to log in with my phone. You can hear me still okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yeah, sometimes doing a live show, things don't quite work out, as smooth, but that's the point of a live show. You just get through it. I mean, because you got taking it to the nub. So TPE was just this past week. It's the first trade show. This thing made national news, as the first trade show in Vegas since, everything is starting to open back up and all that. And it seems like from what I've seen from other cigar media outlets, including you, or just people attending, that that TPE there was a lot of excitement. People were just excited to get out of the house. And what was your perspective on everything? Like, from day one all the way to the end. Like, what did you expect? But what was the reality of what actually was the case with TPE this year?
Well, on a summary note, I would say the expectations, I think, were my expectations were met. There were new retailers coming to the show that I met. I met quite a number of new retailers, which gave me an indication that there were people coming out to buy cigars. As I went around and I talked to various brand owners throughout the 3 days, they kind of confirmed that, saying that they were writing orders. They opened up new accounts, which is what these are all about, and they've got a grand set of leads to follow up on when they get back from the show. I also was impressed by there was a number of new brands there. So we're in this post-FDA year, and sometimes you wouldn't expect to see somebody new on the floor, but there were a few new faces in the industry, some that I have not heard of, and maybe others haven't either. And some that I know have been around, but I've never seen them at the show. So it looks like people came out to do business. That was the name of the tagline for TPE. Time to do business. And yeah, I think it was an excellent show. We had a great they threw a great after party the first night, and they had and there was a few other after parties I went to from different brand owners that were your typical let's have some fun and enjoy Vegas. So that was the show. I did start the show early because I actually came in with one of my sponsors, Tobacco Trading Company, Patrick Potter. So I flew out to LA to review his lounge. I'll have that review up soon. He just opened up this beautiful new lounge, and then I helped him pack everything, and we drove to Vegas.
Nice.
Together. And it was an awesome moment to just hang out and bond with somebody that you met once. You've bonded, he sponsors you, and now you spent like 60 hours of just bonding with another human being to find out all about each other. And we learned a lot about each other, which was very cool. So I went in there and I helped set up his booth with him. I documented the whole process. There will be an article I'm going to write about all of what it takes for a one-man show to come to an event like TPE for the first time.
Yeah, I saw Patrick in a video. Somebody took a video of him, and he was rolling some cigars live at his booth. Did you try any of those cigars that he was rolling?
Well, Guillermo Pena was doing some rolling there too. So Guillermo is his. He uses Guillermo and his Guillermo's factory in Nicaragua to roll, and he was there also. So he was doing a lot of the rolling at the table. And yes, I was told to try one. I said, I'm not a newbie. I would never smoke a fresh rolled cigar. But if you wish me to light this up, I will. Okay. No, for all you out there, if you're new to cigar smoking, don't smoke a fresh rolled cigar. It's wet. It doesn't burn right. You got to keep relighting it. You got to let it rest. There's all kinds of reasons why you don't smoke a fresh rolled cigar.
Yeah, I've done that one time, and I definitely remember that being the case. And you definitely got to let it rest, and because the glue on the top too, you have to let that dry and just become one with the cigar. But yeah, that's cool. So you get there now. From what I understand, you couldn't smoke everywhere on the trade room floor, could you? Or did they just have like a certain section there?
Nah. So here's how that all worked out over the 3 days, and so the official rules were, you could sit in a booth with a brand owner and smoke a cigar with them. They were supposed to be socially distanced, a few feet apart from each other. So the social distance part wasn't 100%, I would say, but if you're on their carpet with them, you could smoke a cigar. If you stepped off the carpet and was standing in front of the booth, you had to have a mask on. So remember, the virus knows outside the booth or inside the booth. The virus knew. So they were very smart about that. All right. Now the other thing is, as you walk between the booths down the aisleways, um, you were supposed to be masked up, and most everybody was. Occasionally, you had some of um, the COVID or safety patrol that came through and told you, "Hey, you got to put your mask on." Nobody I know got kicked out for that. They might have been warned numerous times, and they put their mask on, and it moved along fine. People learn to move from booth to booth sometimes, like touching corners,
Yeah.
And if they saw somebody coming that was you knew the COVID safety patrol because they were dressed a certain way, and you went kind of stepped into a booth smoking a cigar. So you picked up the routine real fast. So
yeah, so the mask police. It was, from what I understand, it was a bunch of beautiful women, dressed in like leather.
At first,
At
okay,
first,
but later the second day there was this grouchy old guy who who was like, put your mask on, I'm gonna have to evict you. Are you kidding me? And like, or you'd be sitting in the other thing too, you'd be sitting in the booth and you're talking like this, and he come by, and if you weren't smoking a cigar, you're supposed to put the mask on, and he'd be like, "You got to put a mask on." I said, "I'm smoking a cigar." He says, "Put it in your mouth." All right, you happy? you know, so if you had a cigar in your mouth, okay, and you were in a booth, you were safe. If you didn't have a cigar in your mouth and you were in a booth or anywhere else on the floor, it was unsafe. So it was kind of strange. But as the week drew on, we had the CDC announcement, which really got people going because they said if you were fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. So so people started flashing their vaccine cards, like, wait, no, I'm fully, no, we got our own rules, and we had to be nice because I'll be honest, this was the first trade show in Vegas since the pandemic. Not first
yep,
cigar show, the first trade show. Therefore, people, no matter who they were, they got jobs now. All these
yep.
people that we interacted with, the safety patrol, the people monitoring the doors as you're coming, they are all extremely happy, including getting off the bus, the shuttle that took us from the hotel. I'll never forget this one. The first day, step off the shuttle bus, and there's a attendant there pointing to where you got to go. And he thanked on that moment. I don't know if he did it to everybody else behind me afterwards, but he was thanking every single person that got off that bus for putting on this show because he could feed his family now
Mm.
because he's got a job. And
Wow,
Vegas was the hardest hit of all these.
yeah. Stuff was like locked down in Vegas. Like Vegas is like a 24/7 city. Going from that to nothing, that's rough. That's definitely rough. So, and now, so you mentioned something about newer cigar brands that you've never heard of. Do you remember any off the top of your head, and and some to look out for if you've got to sample any of their cigars?
So yeah, you gotta look out for a company called El Septimo. El Septimo means the seven. El Septimo Geneva, and this is a company based out of California. It's owned by a real estate mogul. He founded this company, and they came out with a complete line of cigars. So it isn't like they came out with one. There's like a complete and full portfolio plus swag, and I'm not talking about just a little hat or a cup. I'm talking about some serious designer swag. Okay, that you'll see in the article I write. I have a picture of it, but they put on a magnificent after party with invite only VIP invite only thing that I got to go to, and they laid out a nice spread of food and drinks, and we had a really really awesome time there. So I'm really excited, and I'll just say it right now. It looks like I'm going to have the owner of that on my show this Saturday. So you'll hear more about El Septimo Saturday on the Taking It to the Nub show. So
nice.
It's going to be pretty exciting. Another one is Casa Nicaragua, I think it's called. I've never heard of this company, and they seem to be relatively new, but they're featuring their Nicaraguan rolled cigars. They are Nicaraguan, so they came from Nicaragua. So I'm not sure what that is all about. I'll get more details on that as we go on. There was a lot of interpreting going back and forth between the owner and myself, and I guess it was I don't know if it's a family member that spoke better English and was able to translate. So it was a kind of back and forth on that. But I'm intrigued. I'm seeing what they might have on how their cigars are going to taste. Who else? Martinez Cigars was there. Now Martinez, years ago, I reviewed one of their cigars when beginning a Stogie Press when I was in New York. They're like the oldest and maybe only cigar factory, quote unquote, in New York. They're in Manhattan. They have rollers in their shop. They've been around since 1974 or something like that. They're not new to the scene, but I don't recall seeing them at a previous show. So I was really excited when I saw them because I really liked their cigar that I reviewed years ago that I got from them or I purchased at their shop that time. So we had a nice conversation. They have a whole new line coming out called the Patrimonio, honoring their father and uncle, depending upon who you talk to. So that's another brand that I'm got some good samples of that I'm looking forward to enjoying and talking about.
Nice. Now, did you run into the people from Black Star Line Cigars out there? Because they're newer brand that I've been hearing a lot about. Just recently, I think it was the cover of Tobacco Business magazine he made or something. One of those magazines. Or Cigar Journal, I can't remember, but yeah, he just recently made the cover, so I keep hearing a lot about them as well. Now, as far as
their
go ahead,
is pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff,
and I reviewed that a while back. But they got some new stuff that they're working on.
Nice. Now, as far as
I should say, there was a lot of small. Boutique and small companies there. There was not as many large companies. I mean, even like General Cigars was there, and they had like a table. Okay.
Yeah.
And PCA, they own the building. You go to TPE, small table. Altadis, they had a really nice booth. They really were going all out with all their craft. So there was a strange dichotomy between two of the biggest companies. One's got a normal size kind of booth, and the other one's got a table. But they were both doing business. It didn't matter.
And now Cigar Coop just put up a question here, so I'll let you read that, and then you can answer that for him.
I haven't had that discussion yet, Coop. That's a good one. So the Martinez one is the Patrimonio, all right? And I know that Cuevas was doing something very similar. So I guess time will tell on that.
Yeah. Now,
I was hoping that Cuevas would have those at the show, but he didn't.
Now, as far as more established brands, though, you said like General was there, but they had like a table. Other more established brands, like your, Steve Saka and all that. Now, from what I understand, there was a lot of some of the companies that were there. They weren't doing like any special deals. They just were, they were just, just doing regular orders if they didn't already have an existing relationship. Yeah. And a lot of them are waiting to roll out for the PCA. Was there anybody with anything new out, or is a lot of people just waiting for the PCA if they are rolling something new out?
There was a mix. There was a mix of that. Some people were introducing things at the show. Like Rockefeller was introducing his Art of Magic 2.0, if you want to call it that. That's his Cameroon rap. So he was talking about that. He had some pre-release samples at the show. Not to mention he had a magician that would just blow your freaking mind.
Yeah, I saw the video of that.
Awesome
I saw the video of that. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so his name was Kevin also, so it was the Kevin and Kevin show. But this young man, he had an amazing sleight of hand. I had gone back and forth to that booth because he wasn't in his own booth. He was in one of the pavilions. So in TPE they've got booths, and then they have what they call pavilions where they can have like 8 kiosks set up. So he opted to go with that option again this year because it's a little less expensive. And Aganorsa also set up in the kiosk. He was really going to pair off with Aganorsa, I heard, but they got a little kiosk also. So I was going back and forth there, and the magician was always there, and I would watch him from up close, sometimes at a distance, and it'd be like, I saw that same trick like 5 times, and I'm like, I still can't catch what he did. No.
Yeah.
Even
same
if I
thing
looked
here.
It up online, I found a couple of videos that slow up how it's done.
And you still couldn't catch it.
It's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw the video with Cigar Dojo,
Still
and I watched it. Yeah, I watched it a few times on the Cigar Dojo video, and I couldn't catch it either. So yeah. So what else? What else intrigued you?
The best. Best.
You're breaking up, Jimmie.
So I would say that you hear me now?
Yeah, you're clear now.
Can you hear me now?
You're not. Yeah. You just keep freezing.
I'm getting some static. I don't know if it's on your end or my end, but yeah. Okay, now. Yeah, it looks like it's.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
All right. Yeah, it keeps going in and out.
So my friends at Stallone Nicaragua Cigars, when I gave them the best small company cigar award last year, I brought it with me. They're actually coming out with some new stuff. They're coming out with a pony line in their Cowboy series, which is a kind of a 4.5 by 54 Robusto Gordo or something like that, 56 maybe. And they got some other things in the works that they're going to be talking about, and hopefully we'll be showing soon. I did. We talked about El Septimo. Some of them, like Tarazona, didn't have a lot to show, but Tarazona actually had a small. Wasn't in one of these pavilions. There was another thing that was kind of set up like that, but it was a distributor group that he's part of.
Mm-hmm.
So they were featuring all the different cigar distributors. A little table there. Whenever the whole crew was there, they basically took over. It was really crowded around him because he was one of the sponsors of the after party at Dre's nightclub and beach club.
Yeah.
So
now
he put a lot of his money into sponsoring the after party.
Nice. I saw Erica. She had a Terrazona bag, and I asked if she picked them up. As she's a broker. She said no. That's everybody got one at the after party. She said it came with cigars and stuff. So did it come with its full lineup, or was there just a few, like a little sampler put in there?
And I didn't pick up much from Terrazona because Terrazona sponsors me, and I don't need necessarily to pick up all the swag.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ray will drop any of that off to me anytime.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ray always drops some stuff. Whenever I see him, he's always like, "Here, try this, try that." So now there was a whole situation with the Uber and Lyft and taxi situation.
If you're familiar with all,
go ahead.
Oh, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. The Uber, Lyft, and taxis in Vegas were non-existent. Okay, so getting around, going out to dinner, getting from one place to another could take you a 45-minute wait to do a 10 or 15-minute ride. So it was really a difficult process in traveling around the city. So if you didn't know somebody who had their own car, you got stuck waiting for like an hour to get somewhere.
Now, what were you going to say before I asked that question? Because I know you kept. Yeah, you've already answered that, but like you were going to say something before, because there was like a delay, I guess, but on your end. But what were you going to say about something else before I asked that question?
Oh yeah, if you're familiar with All Saints cigars from Mickey Pegg,
oh yeah,
his line. So they came out with their first cigar, the Dedication, early this year, and they backed that up this time. They were featuring at the show something called the Saint Francis. Saint Francis is going to be a wicked nice cigar, which they're making at Rocky Patel's factory in Nicaragua.
Nice. Yeah, I heard of that cigar coming out. He gave me one of his cigars. What about PDR?
I think you've had that. So the St. Francis is going to be a really.
Yeah, I haven't had the St. Francis. I forgot which one I had. But what about PDR cigars? You were saying something about PDR and you broke up.
Yeah, so PDR cigars is they didn't have anything really new that I saw, but they were featuring all their rebranding on their boxes, and they did a beautiful job on their box designs. Okay, it's very vibrant, the boxes now, so they pop on a shelf. So I had some conversation with young Abe Flores, and we enjoyed our time together there. Company, Jake.
You broke up. You said something about Jake.
Are you familiar with Jake Wyatt cigars?
I've heard the name, but I'm not too familiar.
Jake Wyatt. This is terrible.
Yeah. What about them?
Let me try to drop back in through my. Let me reconnect.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. We're trying our best to get through this. So we'll just wait a second here for Boston Jimmie to come back in. I don't know what's the deal. I know I got fast Wi-Fi, so it's not my end. So we'll see. We'll get him back on here. All right. Look
All
at
right.
you.
You hear me better now?
Yes, I hear you great. There's no breaking up.
I'm going back through my browser. So my phone's breaking up and my browser might freeze. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was saying there's the company Jake Wyatt Cigars. Jake Wyatt Cigars got a lot of craft to their cigars. The design of their cigars are very crafty, with emblematic things built into them and stuff. So I'll be interested in trying them, see if the look translates into flavor and taste.
So while you were there, what kind of place? What kind of places did you go eat at? Because that's always a topic of conversation where people like to eat at when they're in Vegas.
So we went to a steakhouse. I went out with. I only went out to eat dinner once. Okay, these places you go to like an after party and there's food, right? So I don't go out to. I didn't go out to dinners a lot, but I did go out with Hiram Solomon and Abe Flores. With Eddie and company, and we went to this really nice steakhouse. So that was good, and that's where I waited 45 minutes for an Uber to come back because their vehicle was full, and I had to get an Uber. Well, I should have scrunched into the vehicle because it was a long wait. But the real meeting place at the show was the hotel. The host hotel was the Sahara, and they had given a lot of deals to retailers. A lot of retailers got free rooms there, okay, as part of the incentive to come out.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of retailers there. So if you were smart and you were a smart brand owner, you hung out down in their casino bar called the Kaz Bar, and that place was packed. You saw the video I did in the beginning of the week. That's where all the business happens off the show. People walking around sharing their brands, talking about what they've got, introducing to themselves to retailers. So I spent some time down there for sure. And because you couldn't really go anywhere because it was a pain in the ass, I kind of just hung around the Sahara.
Yeah. That's the smartest thing, is just, people's all around anyway, so just kind of hang around and chill. Now, you presented your awards to, like to Rocky Patel and to the other
Stallone.
Stallone, yeah. So, how was, you talked about the reception with Stallone cigars when you presented it to Rocky Patel? Was Rocky himself there? I saw you. Nimish accepted it. Okay.
Nimish was there, so I gave it to Nimish. He was happy to get it. Proudly displayed it on top of his cigar case where they were presenting what they had. They had a decent booth, but they didn't have as big of a booth as they did at PCA.
Yeah.
But that's just the way TPE is. People don't go all out.
Yeah.
They keep it small, move the people in, move the people out.
Yeah. And I kind of like that because it's, I've heard other brand owners, complain about, the cost of, getting a booth at PCA. That, everybody does it extravagant, and and then you got to pay contractors to, to set everything up if you got stuff like hanging and all that. And I'm sure you might have something similar, but since you have a smaller booth, I'm sure that cost is significantly less.
Well, I could tell you.
Or is it about the same?
So the booth is like $4,000, which is, wasn't a big drop in the bucket. But you see, you're in Vegas. And when you're in Vegas, it's run by the Teamsters.
Yeah.
So when you got to bring your stuff in, you got to pay them to take it off your truck, put it on a pallet, and bring it in. And they weigh it or they go by load. You have a choice, and it costs money to do that. You're not allowed to touch a screwdriver or drill or hammer or anything. If you got to put something together and you can't do it by hand, just screwing stuff, just hanging stuff, you got to pay them to do it. okay, on the floor. So the costs begin to escalate beyond what one would think is it's cheap. It's only $4,000 until you got to start dealing with all the other stuff. That's kind of the reason why a guy like Kevin Schweitzer does the pavilion, because you go in there and everything's there. It's already set up. There's just a little kiosk. It's already there. It's got his name on it and everything. You don't have to bring all his backdrops and everything and set up these big booths. All right, you could just go right in, boom, set it up, bring his cigars, and he's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I've seen the comparison of the cost. So like even if you still got to pay them, if you have a smaller booth area and it's less extravagant, it's still going to be up there, but probably like a whole lot less than having some huge gigantic booth. But
I could tell you the difference between the cigar industry. So this show, for all those that are watching, this show is split between the cigar industry that has a decent sized footprint, but a much larger footprint is all the CBD and vape and glass. All right, is the rest of the show. Those booths, many of those make even the PCA booths look small or insignificant. These people have money. You want to talk about an industry that's rolling in cash? That industry. And the thing that I just wanted to point out, one of the things that I always go around that part of the show the last day, because I just like to get pictures of it, and they got some great, very vibrantly colored booths and stuff, and just got a whole marketing thing that they've got locked down. And I came across this company, Medusa. Okay, they're one of the oldest in this industry, in the CBD industry. Been around for like 6 years or something like that. And the latest thing on that market is this stuff called Delta 8.
Yep, you were telling me about that before the show, and then I had to start the show. So now you can tell me all about it.
And Delta 8 is an extraction from hemp. That is just like CBD. They extract from the hemp. They extract the CBD. It only has less than 0.3% THC. Now, THC, I found out talking to these guys, is actually Delta 9 THC is what is in the marijuana plant. All right. Oh. In the hemp plant, they can extract out, which is a kind of a lower level derivative of that. It's called Delta 8, and it's also THC, but it's not Delta 9, and it's extracted from the hemp plant. And the hemp law actually allows them to produce any product derived from hemp. And the government kind of misstepped on this because they didn't realize there are scientists involved in that industry, and they were able to extract out enough of this Delta 8 out of the plants where it's psychoactive. So these gummies that they were promoting, okay, and the vape pens that have this in it actually get you freaking stoned. And it's really weird walking around there because even the people heading up the booths, they're freaking stoned talking to you. You're just talking to them. And they're like, yeah, man, you got to check this stuff out. It's like the greatest stuff in the world. Right? But with all of that said, I talked to the guy from Medusa, and he told me the first day he did $100,000 in sales.
Woo!
In wholesale sales. And he was on target, he felt, to probably do close to $250,000 in sales at the show.
Wow.
Yeah. Any cigar brand owner would love to be wearing those shoes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of greenbacks. And that's one show that they do. So them and us, we did a great job opening up Vegas because we were the first trade show, and because of that, they had two different groups of people. You had your premium cigar guys, and you had all these vape and all of that stuff, and we all intermingled very well. They came to our booths, and some of us went to their booths to check things out, And it was it's always a pleasure seeing that around in the way TPE does it. They don't intermingle the two. They separate them by carpet color.
Yeah.
So you know where kind of the boundary is. You go past the boundary, you go into Neverland because you got a whole nother world over there.
Yeah.
And
they had a bunch of beautiful women over there too.
Oh,
from what I saw.
Yeah, you're just attracted to go over there. They had one girl, they had a stripper pole. Okay.
Oh, I saw that.
Girl was on the stripper pole. They had like this 20-foot tall a hookah on the side of one of the booths, smoking out of the top with a big hose on the side. I mean, they went all out, you know. But this is a big thing for them too. So so people coming out to buy. So anybody that's, you know, on either side of that business, I think have done very well at this show, I would imagine.
That's awesome. Now, I know you were there covering it. I know Smoking Tobacco was out there. I know, how about this? That Cigar was out there covering the shows their first time covering, you know, any trade show. Well, I think Matt might have been involved when he was with Blind Man's Puff. But anyway, so, you know, but Cigar Coop wasn't there and everything. But
Coop wasn't there. Brooks, I think Brooks Whittington came in. I heard he was.
Yeah, I heard he was because I was watching How About That Cigar.
Yeah,
and they
I
said,
heard he came. I don't think he was there on day one. He might have been there the second day, but he was there.
Yeah,
so Half Wheel was represented.
Yeah, Half Wheel was there as well. So I mean, the media was there, but you got a lot of interviews though, didn't you? Like a lot of on-camera interviews?
No, not at all. So everybody's, you know, goes in. They were doing these interviews, and that's fine and dandy. But with the show, okay, on Saturday night, I filled out my dance card. Okay, so my goal there was to talk to people, smoke a cigar with them, and just set up a taking it to the nub day.
That's very smart. Very smart.
That way I don't take up their time doing all these interviews. I mean, Steve Saka, all right, he had a small booth, but Steve Saka was talking to somebody in an interview process the whole time I was there. All right. Every time I passed his booth, he was talking to somebody from media, Facebook, influencer, call it what you want. They were like consumed with him. And I was like, no. And they take, you know, sometimes it takes too much time, and then they got to redo all this stuff. So you know what? Take them on the show, one-on-one, sit back, relax. We can have, and that was my goal.
And normally those are the best interviews anyway, because I've interviewed people, just kind of small little videos at events, and sometimes there's a lot of background noise and all that, and it's better. They're in their own environment. They're more relaxed. You're relaxed. So just like right now, we're both relaxed. Stogie Press Lounge, Herf Zone. So yeah. Before we get going here, because I'm gonna keep it, you know, about an hour, under an hour. Anything else that you wanted to add about the trade show? Anything else that's coming up?
Looking forward to 2022. That's for sure. I'm hoping they have it in January, so it's only 6 months away.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know if I'm making it to PCA because my work schedule has me under the gun right now. So it's you know, this may have been the trade show I go to this year. I have to just see how things work out, whether I can get out to Vegas again in another month and a half. My work schedule says no. I can't take that extra time off. So
yeah, that's because normally you take a bunch of time off at the end of the year too. So
well, normally this thing I do it like in January for TPE, and then in July I do it for PCA. But these are so connected to each other, and I don't know how many people are going to go to both either, even on the retail side. Because there was a really good showing of brands here. Like I said, there was a lot of them that were boutique or small brands, So you can, I don't want to call it a boutique show, but there was a lot of small brands there.
Mm.
So if you wanted to get your game on and your humidor and have a good choice, that was a proper event to go to. So my next big thing I go to is probably it's in August. What is it? In August, I'm going to the Connecticut Barn Smoker the weekend of August 15th, which happens to overlap with the Boutique Cigar Association event that they're having in Indiana.
Mm.
Unfortunately, the dates clash, and I've already been committed to go to the Drew Estate event. And then in September, I'm going down to Texas to go to the 25th anniversary party with Drew Estate. So.
Oh yeah. So tell us about that. I've heard about it. Everybody's talking about it right now. They sponsor you and everything. So
tickets are on sale right now if they haven't sold out. I haven't checked it lately. I know I got my ticket. It was $350 through a Drew Diplomat retailer, which started first, and then I think they've gone on sale now for the general public, and it's $400. They're having it at the South Fork Ranch. For those of you that are old enough to remember the show Dallas, that's the ranch. That's the site where they did all the filming for Dallas. So they're using that. You're gonna have a big outside event. You're gonna be able to go inside the mansion. They've gonna have. I can tell you this. I know things that I can't talk about, but I will say.
Well, I'll never ask you to do that.
They're going to have some amazing music acts at this event. Okay, they're setting up stuff that it's not going to be like going down around the corner to the local bar and finding somebody who can play guitar. Nah, this is going to be top-notch stuff that they're doing. They've gone all out on this event. This is going to be their biggest event this year. And even though they didn't go to PCA and they weren't at TPE, they pulled out of that too.
Yeah.
Part of it had to do with COVID, but I think in the background, I know that they're spending a lot of money on this. This is a huge deal for Drew Estate.
Yeah.
25 years, Jonathan Drew, from sleeping in a factory to throwing a party like this has got to be every brand owner's dream.
Yeah, and I mean they're definitely every time I turn around, like this week, from like this week to last week, of course on Freestyle Live they unveiled that the mystery cigars were the Underground 10, which that was good. Now you got your I seen all the people that are sponsored by Drew Estate receiving theirs this week and today, so. Yeah, that's a pretty dope knife. I saw that. I've seen a few other people, man, and it's pretty awesome. So
they do. They're really promoting it. And I'll tell you what, the 10, the way the 10 is dressed is just beautiful. It's a beautiful dressing. I put a post out on Facebook the other day. It has this beautiful band on it with a gold ribbon over the top of the cap. I mean, it's really a well-presented cigar.
It's all decked out.
It's all decked out. That's right.
Definitely. So, yeah, I know you're excited about that. And they got a lot of good stuff going on. So,
and now it's back to doing lounges. So it's I have to write up the review on smoke rings here locally. I was trying to get together with Louis, but I guess Louis got a little ill.
Yeah, he had COVID for a couple weeks, and he was out for 2 weeks. And
so he's
back out around now. So
yeah, I got to get back out there because I want to include a little talk with him as part of the review. That's why I haven't put it out yet. And then I did this one in California, the Continental Cigar Club, where I did an impromptu show last Monday from LA. And that's another beautiful lounge. Just think John Wick when you think of Continental Cigar Club.
Nice.
And then I've got to I've talked to Cigar Mike again, and I'm looking to make that trip I was supposed to make last year
Oh Lord,
Up
Cigar
to
Mike ain't
the
shit. I just seen Cigar Mike over the weekend.
Yep. Going up to the Atlanta market. So I definitely want to hit some lounges up there and get them in the book.
Nice.
So all the help he can provide me would be beneficial. So
Cigar Mike is at the Atlanta cigar scene. I hung out with him. I met some people from Atlanta who came to South Carolina this weekend. When I was out there, I was booked to go out there and do some videos. And now that I got my website up, I did some articles and I did an interview with Cigar Mike when he was 3 sheets to the wind, and me and him got shirtless. I don't know if you saw that video yet.
No, not yet. I don't ever want to see that video.
But that's definitely some exclusive shit that you'll never see again, according to him. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming on and just giving a little recap and all that good stuff. And
everybody's ready. Everybody's ready to buy cigars, smoke cigars, restock humidors. That's the message I got from TPE this year. There was money being spent, orders being placed, and new accounts being opened up. So a big applause to the whole cigar industry. We pulled it off. We didn't know if we were able to get this even in the books, but we did. And look forward to, if you're in a lounge, look forward to seeing some new things show up, hopefully, as they traverse the floor and picked up new brands.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Terrazona Cigars, who is one of your sponsors, is now at Smoke Rings. Because, Ray, I was there with Ray, and he, had him brought in, and they have these, I don't know if you've had I'm sure you have, the 305 Mezzo, the Habano, and the...
he just came out with
a 5-pack. It's $25. I bought it.
No, he gets that's the update, right? So he has had such a demand for that cigar, and those cigars and those 3 different blends are actually very good cigars and inexpensive. He just came out with a full branding with the band on it on bigger Vitolas now. So he's going full production on these.
Nice. So. Yeah. Those I've tried the Habano and I've tried the Maduro. I smoked the Habano right before the show. I bought a 5-pack yesterday, another 5-pack. So that Habano, I really liked that more than the Maduro. I like the Maduro too, but that Habano had that pop to it.
Yep.
And it was really good. So
Connecticut is super smooth.
Yeah, I got to try the Connecticut next because I never look at it when I pick up a bundle. I never look at it. So I happened to pick up the Habano that time. So next time I'll get for a 5-pack, $25. So that's gonna be big when he does a full production and puts the band on it. So
and I hope that some companies here, some retailers picked up some of the new tobacco trading company cigars. He came out this year with what's called Milk and Honey, and Patrick Pott is like a mad scientist.
Yeah,
he drives his factory and his blenders crazy, all right, with his ideas. But he created this cigar called the Milk and Honey, and basically what he's done is he used an old school method, Cuban method of fermentation, to where he used honey. They used honey water. Ferment the leaf. Okay, so when they spray the water down, it's got a little honeyness in it. So as it's going through the fermentation process of fermenting the leaves in the clones, it starts to pick up a little bit of that honey note. So when you smoke the cigar, you get that just a hint of honey on the back note, and then you get this nice spice and other things running through it. He's got 3 different blends that should fit anybody's palate. I was over at his booth a couple of times during the show, and they were like, everybody was talking about his Milk and Honey. So I think this is a cigar that should go mainstream if retailers picked it up. I know he's writing orders and he's got a lot of leads, so we'll see. I mean, it's a fine cigar. I can't wait to review the whole line of them because I think it should be a well-rated cigar.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you for coming on. I'm going to go ahead and end the show here. Thank you, everybody out there, for watching. And if you are not currently subscribed, I'm almost at 400 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure you go on over there, hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave some comments, help this video get big so people can see all the updates from TPE. And Boston Jimmie, we will converse for a little bit right after the show. But thank you guys for tuning in.